Good afternoon, everybody. How's things? Are you all enjoying the sunshine? I'm sure that most of you are indoors having a nice cold glass of something with your feet up. But yeah, it's a bit warm out there. So I say it's quiet out there today. I'm actually working from home. But yeah, we've got a few kids on bikes that are riding up and down thinking it's fun. It's not good though, not safe, is it? But anyway, here we go. What we're going to do today, number 259. I'm hoping we're going to get through it. I've kept it quite sort of simple today, so there's no real thought involved. It's just having a little bit of fun. And I've got here an inked tile, so it's my regular cream on. You see I've done a bit of ink in there and let a bit of salt do its work. I've got my regular pen, got my pencil, my tortillon, and I've got some coloured pencils that sort of match the background. Maybe I might bring a bit of an orange in there as well. So I've got some orange, but see how we get on with those. You don't need them. You can, just sort of keep on with the black and the graphite pencil if you want to. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so deep breath, all is well. We've got a drink next to us, and even Benji's here actually. He's got a nice wet towel over him. Just calmed him down a bit anyway. So I'm going to start with a border. It's just going to go in pencil just to see how it's working. I might keep it all C and I might not. So let's start with that. Okay. All right. Hello from Michigan. It must seem really weird that we're complaining about being hot. I'm not complaining, but yeah, it's a little bit warmer than we're used to over here at the minute. It's not necessarily, I don't know, it's not necessarily just to worry about my little buddies, they've got a lot of fur, so there we go. Hi there from Michigan. Thank you for finding me. I just don't know what's the matter with Facebook. I haven't been hacked or anything. My post and my page is still there, I can see it, but some of you can't, so that's why we're on here today. But that's okay. Download it after and it goes on to YouTube, so not to worry. All right, so I've got my border. I'm going to mark a little point. I'm not going to start in the centre. I'm going to start maybe sort of slightly off and just slightly off there. There we go, see? A little bit of a bubble. Okay, you can put this anywhere, so don't worry if it's a different place, it's fine. And again, if you want to bring a straight line out to do this, you can do so. So I'm going to bring out a line. There we go. The first one's always the scariest, isn't it? You're not quite sure where it's going and what's happening. So I'm going to do another one from the same point. And you might want to sort of do this one first. Okay, so if I sort of use my pen there, so you can just see how wide it is. It's probably about 1.5 centimetres-ish, something like that. But everybody's will vary, so that's fine. I'm going to bring it back to the point. Okay. Next one then. So I'm going to do a similar curve here, but I'm going to drop it down ever so slightly. Only ever so slightly. Okay. And then bring it back in to that point. Well, near enough anyway. There we go. So back in. Right, ever so slightly dropped there. All right, I'm going to go a little bit bigger now. Oh, Louise, I'm sorry, but you do like me to sort of show you a few hints. I can't show you everything. That would just be spoiling the fun. We are working very hard at Sanntangle HQ to bring you some really nice different bits and pieces next week for the takeover show. So yeah, it's a little bit crazy. Of course, we've got classes this weekend as well, so lots going on. So a lot of early mornings and late nights at the minute, but it's so hot we can't sleep that well anyway. You see what I'm doing? I'm stepping it down each time. Again, a little curve. I'm bringing it back to that point. And another course yours could look completely different to this, depending on how much you've stepped it. So there we go. So I'm back to the beginning there. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Kathy. It's yeah, we worked really hard to get things out. I know all of the Yodel parcels went yesterday, so you'll be on your coasters pretty soon, I'm sure. I wanted to give you plenty of time, so we got them out. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit bigger. Here we are. And I'm going to bring, this is the sort of the first one I drew, I'm going to bring myself in a couple of little lines, not all the way down, just a little bit. There you go. And then I'm going to bring out sort of a little ovally shape, see on the top there? And then let's do a little aura around that. There you go. Again, just sort of fill in those little bits. I'm going to do the same here at the bottom. Now don't do it too large. Just keep it small. Fill those in there as well. There you go. So next one then. I'm going to do same sort of thing. I'm not going to try and keep these lines the same width as that one because they're going to be slightly different. Okay. Next one over the top. See, I'm just going to fill those little bits in there. And then same at the bottom. And just work my way around. There you go. So I'm going to do this on all of them. So it doesn't matter which way around you do it. Whether you do it top, up, down, whatever. It works for you, it's fine. Just sort of take it easy. It's no rush. And just enjoy filling those little bits in. And same on this one. And around over the top. Just filling those little bits. And again. So you just sort of keep it in line, the centre-ish. Just to give you that idea there that there's something going on. And same on this side. Of course you can do these in different colours if you want. I think you've got to do it all in black. Okay. Oh, hello Leslie. I am drinking as much as I possibly can without getting up. I've had a busy morning at the laptop writing instructions. And you know, once you sort of get into those, you forget what's going on around you. So, I've just finished a drink. I'll go and have one in a bit. You see, every time I get up, Benji follows me, and I want him to sort of stay sort of calm and with his wet towel on. There you go. Louise, you can, as long as you do all the coasters, you can put them together if you want to have a whole piece, or you can have them separate. It's entirely up to you. They don't have to match. They can be 4 completely different designs. It was just as long as there's some tangling on there somewhere, you can stamp and ink them, whatever you want to do. So we're just really looking forward to seeing what you do with them. And of course, I think it's a cracking prize, isn't it? If you were going to get the coasters anyway. And it should be nice. Okay, so I'm going to do quite a small one here because I don't have much room. There you go. Just putting a little one in and filling those little gaps there. Okay, so there we go. We've got this kind of sort of design. There we go. It's quite nice, isn't it? Okay, so let's just have a look. Got a little bit of space here. I'm going to come sort of slightly offset. And then I'm going to put another one in. There it is. Okay. And then as before, you can put a line in first if you want to. but I'm going to step it down, slightly offset it. You see, same again, coming down, slightly offsetting. And again, see, just sort of stepping it down a little bit and slightly offset it. And just sort of keep going. And again, I'm going to do this all the way around. Here you are. Just taking my time, stepping it down each time. Sort of slightly going over, so I've got that offset. And then there you go, that one goes into that one there. So we've got that kind of thing. Alright, so we could do a few of those. If you want to, you can do a whole sort of array of them. I'm going to pick one, just one of these sort of lacy kind of shapes, or these strings, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to put one, or maybe two. I'm going to have it coming out here. You see, just sort of a straight line, so it's going underneath and back out. And then again putting that little oval shape, a little aura around it, and filling it in. Okay, I'm not going to do that on all of them. Okay, what am I using? It's actually, I mean, it's an 03, there you go. But I do think that my 03s are quite fine, so they are more like an 02. But yeah, nothing too thick, because otherwise you don't really get the detail in. If you want to use an 01, you can do that as well. I'm going to put this one in. But everybody, I think, gets used to their own pen. And whatever you want to use depends. I will go to an 04 on a bigger piece, but I think this one's fine for this. There we go, it's quite nice, isn't it? All on its own. This lovely sort of background, but I'm going to do a few more bits and pieces. So let's come up to sort of this side. And I'm going to do a tangle that we all love. I'm sure we do. There we go. I'm going to sort of come up and around, creating a sort of a curl. Don't make them too small. We want a little bit of a shape going on here. See, I'm going over the border. That's fine. To there. So it's almost like these are sort of horizontal. And then a little bit of a wave. And then along. And follow it round. There we go. And down. Okay. Lorraine, it's just reminded me there's some fabulous work on the Sanntangle group page. And I've seen that yours, Lorraine, this morning. I've had a sneak peek down while I was having my quick cup of tea. And absolutely, there's flowers and blooms that we've been doing. And they're just lovely. There's a lot of other bits and pieces going on as well. Really impressed. I think I'm going to have to up my game. There you go, so we've got that kind of thing. And again, imagine that you've got a bubble sitting in there and you're just going to see that top bit peeking out. Okay, and you might sort of, let's have a look in context. You see, it's quite large, isn't it? So don't be too shy with this one. I'm going to do another one here. So again, I can do it the same way or different. I think I'm going to just come out and go this way again. See that? Keeping that curve. If you actually stop and start on a curve, that's, I think, sometimes what stresses you out. Try and do it in one swoop. Sort of a confident pen stroke. There we go, bubble in there. See, imagine it's going on underneath. And again, now if you find that, you know, you sort of struggle with this, then imagine it first. See, I'm going to do quite a big one there. And then bring your pen in. So just pretend that you're doing it first and then come in with your pen. Around we go. Along here. And in. And then of course add in that little shape there. Okay. So we've got a couple there. I think I might just add another one, but not a pair. I might just go for a single one here. So it's going to come up and round here, And of course you need to look at your tile, see what you think. If you've got enough of them, that's fine. If you want to sort of squeeze another one in, there we go, and round we go. So we've sort of got that. Let's have a look at it in scale. There you go, sort of part and parcel, half-ish all the way around, maybe. Okay. So let's bring some extra little flourishes out of this now. I'm going to sort of zoom in again. Here we go. So let's bring one out here. I'm going to come in with a curve and add a loop on the end. And our loop, I'm going to colour in that bottom edge. And same up and around here. Do another one. I mean, you could do as many of these as you like, really. They're quite nice. And I'm sure I saw Julie on, so I'm sure there's going to be a zinger or two. See, that one's going to go over, see, under. You can play with that a little bit so you get a bit of an effect of sun going over. A bit of 3D. Yeah. Same on this one. So that one I'm going to have going underneath, just a little bit there. And you're going to see a little bit of one there. And again, I'm going out of that border, but you don't have to. I know, Julie, I will put some in. Okay. Maybe this time I'm going to go over the top of this one. Let's sort of take it then underneath there. See how it sort of gives that idea that a little bit of 3D's going on. And a couple around this, I think. So let's go under there. And along in that one. Yeah. Yeah. A couple of little ones. They're great, real nice fillers. There we are. So have a look at it now in full. Okay, we can come in and add more of these in a short while. But I think for now I'm going to move on to the next thing. So here we go. I'm going to stick within the border maybe now. See how it goes actually. And I'm going to create a bit of a sort of a grid, but not a grid. Does that make sense? There you go. So starting with that one. You see, I've not gone quite to the end, and I've gone slightly underneath there. Maybe this one I'm going to go out and underneath, and I'll get another one in. I'm going to stop, so it's going to go under the border there. And then I'm going to bring some lines out. And again, you can decide whether they're going to go in or out of the border. So they're going sort of more out there, and I'm sticking slightly in this way. Go. So we've got some sort of ends that need filling. So I'm going to put some little bobbles on. See, that one's going under and through there. I think I'll follow that one on. Just put one there. And again, you see this one's a little bit random on its own, so let's just finish the dots. I'm not going to on here because they're going under the border. So let's have a look. Usually doing a grid, it's nice to put little squares on these sections here. And maybe we can, so look, I'm going to go with circles instead. Alright, so everywhere these lines meet, we're going to have one of these little circles or bubbles, as we know them. You can do any shape there, it doesn't matter. Maybe you have some at the bottom there sort of going underneath. And then I'm going to add some more of these bubbles, just a little bit smaller on some of the edges there. Just on some of the lines, just gives it a little bit more interest. I'll have to bring the white pen out in a bit. Oh, you see, just getting quite small. And then at this point, I'm going to come in and finish this border off. So I'm going to draw as much as I can here. And there, you see, I'm not going to go, oh sorry, drawing it and not showing you. I'm not going to go underneath there. I'm going to put a little dot and stop. so it's got space. And then here, bringing this line along, see that now looks like it's going underneath. And again, I'm not going to draw it right up to here. I'm going to put that in and put a little dot. I've got a little gap. Around we go. Same sort of thing, little dot. And again, little dot. And again, you can add some more on here. But, you know, I'm not going all the way up. I'm giving it a little bit of space to breathe, whatever it is. So just a tiny bit in that corner. And then along and into that one there. I don't mind joining that one. I think that's quite close anyway, so that's okay. And then we've got a corner piece in there and in there. Okay, let's have a look at this. A little bit more. There you go. It's quite nice, isn't it? I think I'm just going to bring my rubber in. Yes, I've got a line where the border is between those. Just want to get rid of that. I don't need to worry too much because I ink this using my brush pens, so they're not really going to move. They're going to stay there. And a couple of zingers as promised. So a little line and a bobble. And then a little aura. And then a round, getting smaller each time. Now you don't want to overdo it with these, you just want a few. Nothing crazy. See there, I'm going to have that going underneath because I've got my border drawn in. Going under there. And I'm going to bring one here. Just in that space. And just to sort of finish off the pen, I'm going to bring in a few little bubbles. Not too many, just giving it a little bit of interest in the background there. Try and do them different sizes. Don't try and count them. Just put a few in. Sort of like little dancing bubbles. Sort of randomly placed. I know we don't like random so much, but there you go. Okay. Oh, so let's bring in the pencil first, I think. I'm going to sort of do a little bit of work on this. We'll shade it and then we'll see where we go with a bit of colour. So first thing I'm going to do is add in some pencil on either side of this sort of triangular pizza shaped wedge. Okay, here you go. And while I'm there, I might as well add in some there. Same again, either side, and then a little bit in there. I suppose we could do those while we're at it at the same time. Oh, there's a thought. So just a little bit of pencil in those places. Don't worry if it's a little bit messy around the edges, we smooth that off, it's fine. Little sort of bits there. See, I'm going to do the same in this one. And notice I'm going either side of the line. I'm not sort of scrimping on it and doing just one side. I'm going on both. I don't know why I said pizza. I miss pizza. I know there's gluten-free, but I've not quite found the one, you know. Maybe I will. I've not been impressed with any so far. So I'm going to add a little bit around there. You see, just not too much, just sort of on that bottom line there. Okay. So let's get this softened out. Let's bring the torch on at this point. Let's have a look. Just nice and gentle. Gonna swirl it. Don't want to take it too far in. I want to leave a bit in the middle. See, just soften out those edges there. swirling, just sort of control it. It doesn't move it too far, but it helps get rid of that line. And then see, we can soften it out a little bit. Same here, leaving a little gap in the middle there. And next one, along there. And there we go, a little bit down there. See how that sort of softens it a little. Again, we can do this one at the same time. I'm not going to do that one yet, I'm just going to do these edges. Okay, next one. Along we go, and then into this. Same again. And then just soften those off, work on that top edge. Just gonna oh no, Liz, I could do that. That's it. I think that's what I'm going to have to at some point. I have to make sure that the gluten-free flour doesn't have corn flour in it. I can do rice flour. I know, awkward. Just awkward. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to work around this piece nice and gentle. Just sort of softening as I go. There's little pieces there. See, I didn't add any to that, but there's plenty of graphite on my pencil, so that's okay. And along there. Down to this one. So you can't really do much there because it's so small, but that's okay. And then if I soften just around the tops, again, I don't want to fill the whole thing, I just want to give it a little bit of depth there. Same on these, not much. Alright, so let's have a look at that. Not bad, so far so good. I think I'm going to bring a bit of colour in there. What shall I use? I think I'm going to use my darker sort of, I've got like a magenta-y colour. And what I'm going to do is add a little bit down the middles. Let's go a bit bigger. I don't want to overdo it with the colour on these. I've already shaded it, so I can add a little bit in and I can get away with it without trying to colour or blend. You see, it just gives it that little bit of a lift. Just sort of down the line, ease it off a bit. Down the line, ease it off a bit. That's why I sharpen my pencils, and you're always going to be working in sort of smaller areas. You're not going to get the full-blown colour because we've got a bit of grey underneath, but that's okay, we don't really want it. We only want a gesture of colour. We've got the ink tile in the background, so that gives us a hand as well. Yeah, just a little bit as we're going around, and then just sort of on the edges there, I'm just going to see just part of it, add a bit of colour. Of course, if you didn't want to shade it, you could go in with colour straight away. But everybody, you know, has their own designs and styles, and we've all got different amounts of time. So there you go. So look, well, let's not have a look just yet. I'm going to bring in my white chalky pencil while I'm here. I'm going to add a little bit, just sort of along in those spaces, those little bits of white that I've left. Well, it's the colour of the tile anyway. Even on the top bits there. It's amazing, isn't it, when you start with a simple curve or a simple line and how it starts to grow and change. And we've all seen different things in it. So okay, don't get much in there. Let's have a look at that. There you go. So let's come out and look at the next bits. I'm going to come in with pencil again. So working on these shapes here, I'm going to add some to the base, and then just sort of like a little smirk there. So I'm going to do the same with all of those. This one, and of course that one going that way, so I'm going to do the smirk that way. Then tortillon again, let's soften that off. There's a gentle. You see I've again left a little bit of a highlight there. Again, just sort of touch the edge of that. Go a little bit bigger. And normally it's nice, isn't it, to leave all the white to the end. But then not, again, it's also nice to do things as you're going. You can see it grow as you're getting round there. I think it inspires you to carry on sometimes, or you then know how much graphite to put on. You think it's had enough, not doing any more. There you go. Okay, so again, I'm going to bring that white chalky pencil in and add a little bit. See where I've got just a little bit of a highlight space there. Okay, so I'm going to come in with, I've got a pink, slightly darker pink, and I'm straight in here with the colour, just adding a little bit in there. You see I've pressed on quite a bit. I really want these to sort of stand out, so quite a bit of pressure being applied there. I'm going to add another colour into it. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so I'm going to quite a bit of pressure because of course we've got all that inked background. So I've got an orange. Again, just going to add some pressure. I'm going to try and leave a little bit of a gap there if I can. See, a little bit of a highlight. Now you could come in with a white pencil there and fill that. But again, because I've left it. Now the white chalk doesn't usually work over your pencils, which is why I'm leaving a little highlight. If you found you've coloured it in and you can't put a highlight in, then use a white gel pen. That'll give you the same sort of effect. There you go. So just because I've left it and I've got my white pencil back, I can come in and add that. Alright, so we've got a little bit of colour there. I'm going to bring that darker colour in. It's like a sort of magenta-y. I'm going to add now a little bit of dark on it. Let's go a bit bigger so you can see that. So in that corner, just a little bit. Because I've already got colour in there, adding the darker one isn't so bad. Now, the colour obviously is going to draw your eye, so it depends what you want to show. If I'd have wanted this to show more, then I would have perhaps used brighter colours and gone a bit harder. Where I haven't, I've kept it really subtle. So this is quite unexpected, having this as the piece that's going to show. It's going to add a little bit more dark in the middle there. You see again, controlling it. Dark, and then just letting it ease off a little bit. Okay, so you've got that kind of effect going on. And again, I'm just going to sort of work my way up those lines a little bit more. Okay, let's have a look at that then. Okay, see the difference now with that dark as it's started to give a little bit of sense there, and the colour around here. I think it probably needs a little bit more in here, but let's do the rest of the tile and see if it needs it at the end. Okay, so I'm coming back to my regular pencil. And I'm going to choose sort of one side of these lines. I'm going to add some underneath those lines there. You can be quite broad about it. It can be a little bit of a shadow. Okay. And same on this one. So imagine if I'd have done this tile with blues. Do you think it'd have looked a little bit sea-like? Maybe so. Okay. Tortillon. And this time I'm going to soften it off. I'm not going to swirl it. I'm going to just work around the line a few times. Not much pressure, just take your time with it. See? And then this one. Doesn't need much. So now the decision, isn't it? Do we colour the bubbles, or do we actually go around the border? Let's have a look at it. Oh, who's going green? Oh, Teresa's going greens. That should look good. There you go. So we've again a couple of decisions, and sometimes it's nice to discuss these rather than just draw it in your copy. You can see my thought process. So I'm going to come in with that pink again, and I'm going to choose some of these bubbles that we did, and again bring in a bit of colour. Not all of them, just choose a few. Maybe just a touch of orange if you've got space. If not, leave it at 1. There you go. That's probably fine. And then we need to add, again, I think I'm going to add some pencil around here. This is why you do have to look at your tile, because it needs to have a little bit of a standoff at the page. There you are. See, all the way around, over everything that you've done already. See, a little bit of, even there maybe, a little lot of metallic pens would work well with this, wouldn't it? See, so this time just nice gentle application, little swirls. So that's going to give it a little bit of shade, and hopefully just lift it off the page a little bit. Just see what that does. Sometimes you look at a tile and it does look a little bit flat and you're not quite sure what to do with it. And hopefully today, by looking at this in different sections, it helps you to sort of look at it. The bubbles would look nice with gel pen, Teresa. I'm thinking actually putting gel pen in the ones I've left, but I'd always do that afterwards, so it doesn't sort of smear or anything. So you see how that's giving it a little bit of shading, so it lifts it off everything else. But I'm back in with pencil. I'm going to come in and add some here. Now you could do the same with black pen, but if you want to shade it a little bit, or you don't want it to be so noticeable, then use your pencil. But notice again, I've got a sharp pencil. And not doing too much, just giving it a little bit of an embedding there. Okay, took there as well, didn't I? All right, liking the look of this. I think a couple of things just to sort of finish it off. First, again, back in with pencil. There we are. So we've got these, because they're sort of standing off the page as well, I'm going to put a bit of pencil on those, just on one side. What I want to do is add just a little bit underneath. See, it's not really touching. A little bit here. A little bit underneath. Then bring it round. Add a bit there. Don't think about this too much. You just want to add a little bit of graphite in there. We're just sort of going to give it a bit of a shadow. And of course, last one. Under there. So again, starting back at the top. So let's do that. Let's do those little zingers first. And then here, gonna work it round and then come around. So again, I'm not putting too much work into this. I'm just gonna add a little bit of softness there. Not smooshing it or anything like that, just going around with the line. Okay, back in with pen. Just want to redefine some of these lines here. So I'm going to come back up part of this one, look. Maybe give it a little bit of extra there. So the trick is not to do all of it. And as tempting as that is, try not to. You know, you just want to do a little bit, and that is going to give it a little bit more interest. Put one in there. You see, so I'm doing a little bit, leaving it, coming back round to where I've sort of put that shadow in. But don't do it all. Okay, about a little bit more white pencil. Just going to add it, no, not that one, that's not white, to the other side of those little zingers, giving it a little bit of a highlight. Okay, let's have a look at it. So last thing to do now is the decision is, because we've put a border in, are we going to shade inside or are we going to shade outside? And outside is going to make this stand up and sort of be proud of this, whereas an inside is going to make this look more in front. So let's go with the inside. And I'm not going to be too light with this. I'm going to follow it along. And of course, when I've got gaps, so like this here, I'm going to just shade up to the gap and then around. It doesn't matter, I'm going to go over whatever's underneath there. Okay, and then let's see how this works. Again, I just want to give it a little bit of something to get it going and soften it off a bit. And then around on this one. See, sometimes just going up and down on the line works fine. Other times you do need those little circular motions. There we go. So again, once you've done this, you can look at your tile and you think, well, have I got any highlights? Are there any bits that still need a bit of darkness? There's lots, you know, you could look at, and I'm not quite sure which way this is going to go now, actually. Well, I kind of like it that way. I started that way, I know, but that way's quite nice. Doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to sign it this way. Here we go. Initials on. And there is tile 259. So have a little bit of fun with it. Let's see how it goes. Just going to put a bit of line in there. And yeah, post it and let me see. I know Teresa's going to do one in green. I'm sure you've all got different colours sort of in mind. And yeah, let's see how it goes. So have a lovely afternoon, what's left of it. Try and stay cool, as we all know. And all being well, I will see you here again on Friday at 2 o'clock for number 260. Can you imagine it? 260. Oh, a little bit of a pointer as well. Book 8. If you are wanting to put one of your tiles or have one of your tiles put into the gallery in book 8, they have to be between tile 131 and 142. They need to be sent decent photograph as best you can, please, because if I've got to change the size, the pixels, so a nice flat photo just like this, nice and flat, so I could actually crop it round. And you need to send it to info@sanntangle.co.uk, and please just put in the subject book 8, so I know it's for the book, and it needs to be in by the end of the tile on Friday. I know that's short notice, but I'm sure you've already got one drawn up. It's just a case of taking a photograph and sending it in. So I really look forward to those, if you want to. And of course you get your name in the book and your tile as well. So have a good one. Find those tiles out. Remember, it's 131 all the way through to 142. So it's 12 tiles to choose from. So, okay, with that in mind, you've got 2 jobs to do now. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you Friday. Okay, bye.